Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you work, life seems to move faster than you? The world is changing at lightning speed, and skills, knowledge, and wisdom that were relevant yesterday may be outdated today. The problem many of us face is stagnation. We stop learning, thinking we know enough. And as a result, opportunities slip away. Today, we are going to solve this problem by discovering the transformative power of daily education and how it can change your life. Education is not confined to classrooms, degrees, or certificates. True education is a lifelong pursuit. It is the conscious effort to expand your mind, sharpen your skills, and deepen your understanding of the world every single day. Every moment is an opportunity to learn from books, experiences, people, and even challenges. The question is not whether you can afford to educate yourself daily. The real question is whether you can afford not to. Over time, consistent learning compounds into wisdom, perspective, and the ability to make better decisions, leading to a more meaningful and successful life. To truly educate yourself, it cannot be occasional or sporadic. It must be a habit ingrained in your daily life. A single day of learning will not transform you, but a consistent daily effort will. Habits are the building blocks of character. And a habit of learning ensures that your mind grows continuously. Think of it as planting seeds in a garden. Each day you water and nurture them. You create the foundation for a lush, fruitful landscape. Miss a day or two and progress slows, but the seeds are still there, waiting for attention. Making learning a daily habit requires intention. You must consciously allocate time for it, regardless of how busy life gets. Some people argue that they are too occupied with work, responsibilities, or family. The truth is, there are always pockets of time, early mornings, lunch breaks, or evenings that can be devoted to learning. Even 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a monumental difference over months and years. The key is consistency, not duration. The mind thrives on regular stimulation and repeated exposure to new ideas, concepts, and perspectives creates lasting change. Another important aspect is variety. Learning every day doesn't mean reading the same type of content repeatedly. It can be books, articles, podcasts, videos, conversations, or even reflective thinking. The goal is to expose yourself to new ideas, challenge your assumptions, and expand your understanding. When you diversify your learning, you not only gain knowledge but also develop adaptability, the ability to respond effectively to new situations, solve complex problems, and see opportunities where others see obstacles. A daily habit of learning also fosters curiosity. When you make learning a routine, your mind begins to seek out knowledge naturally. You start noticing opportunities to gain insights in everyday situations. A conversation, a news article, or a documentary can suddenly become a lesson in human behavior, science, or strategy. Your perspective broadens, and your thinking becomes sharper, more analytical, and more creative. Furthermore, making learning a habit builds discipline. Life is full of distractions that tempt us to waste time or settle for comfort. When you commit to daily education, you practice self-control, perseverance, and prioritization. You train your mind to focus on growth rather than passive entertainment. This discipline, cultivated through daily learning, spills over into every area of life: work, relationships, health, and personal goals. Finally, a daily learning habit transforms your life incrementally. The knowledge and skills you acquire may not yield immediate results, but over time, they compound like interest in a bank account. Your decisions improve, your confidence grows, and your ability to navigate challenges strengthens. People around you begin to notice your insight, your adaptability, and your wisdom. What was once invisible effort becomes visible results. And you realize that daily learning is not just an activity, it is a lifestyle that empowers you to live with. Purpose, intelligence, and resilience education is not limited to books, lectures, or formal settings. The most profound lessons often come from life itself. Every experience, whether joyful or challenging, planned or unexpected, carries within it the potential to teach you something valuable. The key is to approach life with awareness, reflection, and a willingness to extract insights from every situation. By treating experiences as lessons, you transform everyday life into a continuous classroom. Consider setbacks and failures. Many people view failure as a negative outcome to be avoided at all costs. Yet, failure is one of the most powerful teachers. Each mistake, disappointment, or misstep carries hidden wisdom. It teaches patience, resilience, humility, and problem-solving skills that no textbook can offer. By analyzing what went wrong and identifying the lessons within, you turn every setback into an opportunity for growth. The more consciously you reflect on your experiences, the more educated you become, not just in knowledge, but in understanding how life works. Even positive experiences have lessons to teach. Success, when examined deeply, reveals patterns, decisions, and habits that contributed to the outcome. By observing what works, you reinforce good practices and learn how to replicate success in other areas. Education through experience is holistic because it combines knowledge with emotional intelligence. You begin to understand not just facts, but context, consequences, and human behavior, which equips you to navigate future challenges more effectively. Learning from experiences also develops critical thinking. When you actively seek lessons from your interactions, decisions, and observations, you cultivate the ability to question assumptions, analyze situations, and make informed choices. Life stops being a series of random events and becomes a structured learning environment where every encounter and circumstance contributes to your growth. You develop a mindset that seeks solutions instead of dwelling on problems. And this mindset is invaluable in both personal and professional life. Another essential aspect is self-awareness. Experiences provide feedback, sometimes subtle and sometimes stark, about your strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies. When you pay attention, you gain insight into how you react under pressure, how you handle relationships, and how you approach challenges. This self-knowledge is crucial because it allows you to make conscious adjustments, improve behaviors, and cultivate habits that enhance your personal and professional effectiveness. Learning from experience also builds adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and rigid thinking often leads to frustration and stagnation. By treating every experience as a lesson, you train yourself to respond flexibly to change. Challenges become opportunities. Obstacles become exercises in problem solving, and uncertainty becomes a chance to innovate. Over time, this adaptability becomes a natural part of your character, empowering you to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Finally, learning from experiences cultivates gratitude and perspective. Even difficult situations teach resilience, compassion, and understanding. By valuing the lessons embedded in everyday life, you begin to see challenge as meaningful, setbacks as necessary, and successes as milestones of growth. This mindset transforms ordinary life into a continuous journey of education, where every experience, no matter how small or significant, contributes to your wisdom, insight, and capability to truly educate yourself every day. It is essential to broaden your horizons and seek knowledge from a wide variety of sources. Learning should not be confined to one subject, one perspective, or one method. When you expose yourself to diverse ideas, experiences, and viewpoints, your understanding of the world deepens, your creativity expands, and your ability to solve complex problems improves. Education becomes not just accumulation of facts, but the cultivation of wisdom. Books are timeless tools for learning, but the type of books you read matters. Reading only what you already know or agree with limits growth. To educate yourself effectively, explore topics outside your comfort zone: philosophy, history, science, psychology, and biographies of people from different cultures and backgrounds. Each new perspective challenges your assumptions and expands your mental framework, allowing you to see connections and patterns that others might miss. A single idea from a book can transform how you think, how you act, and how you approach life. Beyond books, conversations are invaluable sources of knowledge. Engage with people who have experiences and expertise different from your own. Ask questions, listen actively, and be open to ideas that challenge your worldview. Every individual has a story and a perspective that can teach you something new. By approaching conversations with curiosity rather than judgment, you create a continuous learning environment where each interaction becomes an opportunity to grow intellectually and emotionally. Digital resources also provide limitless opportunities for education. Podcasts, documentaries, articles, online courses, and lectures allow you to access expert knowledge anytime, anywhere. The key is to use these tools intentionally rather than passively scrolling through information. Approach every piece of content with purpose. Identify the lesson, think critically about it, and consider how it applies to your life. This conscious engagement transforms consumption into education. Learning from diverse sources also fosters adaptability. The world is constantly evolving, and challenges rarely fit neatly into one category of knowledge. By cultivating interdisciplinary understanding, you develop the ability to approach problems creatively, adapt strategies, and innovate solutions. The mind that is nourished by varied knowledge becomes flexible, resilient, and capable of navigating uncertainty with confidence. Another dimension of learning from diverse sources is empathy. Understanding different cultures, philosophies, and life experiences broadens your emotional intelligence. You begin to appreciate perspectives other than your own, communicate more effectively, and respond to challenges with greater sensitivity. Knowledge is not just intellectual, it is relational. By exposing yourself to diversity, you cultivate wisdom that balances intellect with compassion. Finally, diversity of knowledge creates opportunity. In a competitive world, those who draw insights from multiple fields, blend ideas, and connect dots in unique ways are often the ones who innovate, lead, and excel. By committing to learn from varied sources every day, you equip yourself with a toolkit of ideas, strategies, and perspectives that multiply your effectiveness and enhance your life. The more you explore, the more you grow, the more capable you become of shaping a meaningful and successful life. Education is not complete without reflection and application. Knowledge alone, no matter how vast, is powerless if it is not understood deeply and applied in real life. To educate yourself every day, you must take time to pause, think, and integrate what you have learned into your actions, decisions, and perspective. Reflection transforms information into insight, and insight transforms action into meaningful results. Reflection begins with awareness. After reading, listening, or observing, ask yourself, what did I learn? How does this relate to my life? How can I use it to improve myself or help others? These questions create a bridge between theory and practice. Without reflection, knowledge remains superficial, like water stored in a jar that never nourishes the soil. With reflection, it seeps into your understanding, reshapes your thinking, and informs your choices. Application is the next step. Learning is not about accumulating certificates, quotes, or facts. It is about change. Every insight you gain should influence your behavior, guide your decisions, or refine your approach to challenges. If you read about discipline, apply it in your daily habits. If you learn about empathy, practice it in your relationships. If you gain a new strategy or skill, implement it consistently. Knowledge only becomes powerful when it translates into action, and consistency in applying what you learn compounds over time into mastery. Reflecting and applying also builds self-awareness. As you test knowledge in real situations, you learn what works and what doesn't, what aligns with your values, and what needs adjustment. This feedback loop is essential for growth because it prevents learning from being passive. Instead, learning becomes an active dialogue between experience and understanding, guiding you to make better choices, avoid repeated mistakes, and optimize your potential. Another important aspect is accountability, reflection, and application. Create a system where you measure your learning not just by what you know, but by what you do. By asking yourself regularly, how am I using what I have learned today? You stay accountable to your growth. This turns education into a lifestyle rather than a hobby, embedding curiosity, improvement, and insight into every aspect of your life. Reflecting also enhances critical thinking. By analyzing the lessons from books, experiences, and conversations, you begin to see patterns, connections, and cause and effect relationships that others overlook. You develop the ability to evaluate ideas, challenge assumptions, and make informed decisions. Over time, this skill allows you to navigate complex situations with clarity, confidence, and wisdom. Finally, applying. Knowledge transforms learning into impact. Knowledge without action is like a seed that never sprouts. When you implement what you learn, your life changes, your environment improves, and you influence those around you positively. Every reflection and application creates a ripple effect, turning small daily efforts into long-term transformation. The ultimate purpose of educating yourself every day is not accumulation, it is growth, contribution, and the creation of a life that is wiser, more capable, and more meaningful. Education is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. When you commit to educating yourself every day, you unlock a path of continuous growth, wisdom, and transformation. Making learning a daily habit, reflecting on every experience, seeking knowledge from diverse sources, and applying. What you learn are not just actions, they are a mindset, a way of life that elevates every aspect of who you are. Life rewards those who prepare themselves continuously. Knowledge alone is not enough, and talent alone is not sufficient. But consistent learning, thoughtful reflection, and deliberate application create a compounding effect that shapes your mind, decisions, and character. Over time, these small daily efforts accumulate into profound understanding, sharper judgment, and the ability to navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. Remember, the world is constantly changing. Those who stop learning are left behind, while those who educate themselves every day adapt, grow, and seize opportunities others miss. Knowledge empowers you to act wisely, relationships to thrive, and decisions to align with purpose. It transforms ordinary days into lessons, challenges into teachers, and experiences into wisdom. Ultimately, education is not just for success, it is for life itself. By committing to learn, reflect, and apply every day, you invest in your future, expand your perspective, and become someone capable of creating meaningful impact. Every day you educate yourself, you grow stronger, wiser, and better equipped to live a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment.